Julian Lee. Hi, Julian.
Hi.
Finally got to meet you.
Yeah.
Wonderful Ambi Labs. They've been around. You know the brand, but here's the product. Julian, briefly, what does the product do?
Well, in a nutshell, Ambi Climate Smart enables your air conditioner.
Right.
So what we mean by that, I think the critical function of our device is that we use artificial intelligence to learn about your comfort. Because it's not just temperature that affects you, humidity, changing weather, even your daily metabolic cycle changes what feels hot or cold to you.
Wow, wow. And so this syncs with an air conditioner?
Yeah, so it works with any...
It doesn't just tell you the temperature, which it will do that, but this does something more that I wasn't sure about before.
Yes, so that's kind of some of our core differentiations.
So that means you've had to partner with Carrier and Daikin and all the air conditioner manufacturers?
Actually, we don't partner with them so much, but we've built up our own infrared database, so we've actually worked with any remote controlled air conditioner, about 50 brands and about 1,000 different models we're compatible with today.
Okay, so it's a matter of, so it's just like when you go into Samsung Pro and you get a generic controller and you just sync it with the TV and in other words, you just syncing that with the air conditioner, and once it communicates with it, then suddenly it can tell the air conditioner what to do.
Yep.
So it's just like a remote control.
It is like a remote control. In a sense, we're using this remote control and the Wi-Fi connection to the cloud to help us deliver this artificial intelligence powered comfort for better comfort. And actually, we have 40 users in 40 countries, and they tell us on average I shouldn't say on average, but a lot of them report to us that they save 20 to 30% of their air conditioning energy consumption.
I think I need one of these because I'm always turning it up and turning it down, but there's no in between.
Yeah. So those are some of the problems that we're trying to solve.
Yes. Oh, this is amazing, and this is automatic. I love it. Ambi Climate, that is the brand.
Yep.
The name of the product is...
It's Ambi Climate.
Ambi Climate 2. Okay, good. Okay, so where are you now? Because you've been around for over 12 months now with this product.
Yeah.
Where are you with respect to sales and distribution? I expect you're down that path now.
Yeah, so we're currently in retail in Hong Kong and Singapore.
Right.
And we've actually just appointed distributors in Malaysia and Thailand.
Wow.
And of course, we still have online sales through our own channel and also through Amazon worldwide.
Wow, I imagine hitting the tropical countries is a good idea.
Yes.
Because they all need air conditioning.
Yep.
And Singapore definitely.
Yes.
It's interesting. I did live in Singapore for 2 years, and it's amazing how it's sort of different from Hong Kong.
Yes.
It's not everywhere is air conditioned in Singapore that you'd expect.
Yes.
It's sort of made for the hot weather. Hong Kong is not always made for the hot weather.
That's true. Yeah.
Anyway, that's just some personal reflections from living there. But okay, so interesting that you didn't mention the major trading blocks like North America, Europe. Is that on your horizon?
They are on, those places are on our horizon.
Right.
But I think that what we found is the density, the concentration of air conditioner ownership is much higher in Asia.
Yes.
So we're kind of sort of looking for, in some ways, also the home court advantage.
Right.
To try to expand our network here.
Right.
At the same time as looking for partners to expand elsewhere as well.
Okay, so local knowledge, very, very important. So what units are we talking about in terms of your shipped in the last 12 months?
In terms of the last 12 months,
in 6 months.
You mean in terms of units?
Units shipped, yeah.
Shipped.
Yes.
Okay, so we're still in the low thousands of units. We're still, trying to basically selling, month on month.
Right.
But I think right now we're really kind of at the point where we've learned some real key lessons in terms of retail distribution and so on, and we're now eager to really push out and expand.
Wow.
So I think so far, the last sort of 6 months or so has been much more about learning lessons, how to really get the sell out to the consumer.
What is the biggest 2 or 3 lessons that you've learned from the market?
Well, I think that number one lesson is that products like this, new smart home, innovative, new category products that people are not really looking for naturally. You can't just put them on a shelf and expect them to sell. There's a lot of marketing, a lot of trade support, a lot of sales floor training, all of this stuff that you have to do.
The thing that comes to mind is this is like your new remote control for your air conditioner.
Yeah.
Like when you see it, you don't. That's not the first thing you think of. But the way you explained it to me, how it works, it's like, this talks to your air conditioner. It just doesn't talk to your iPhone. So a question related to that: can I in my iPhone change the temperature of the air conditioner now that is synced with the air conditioner?
Yes, you can. Yes.
Okay.
So you have full control of the air conditioner. You can monitor, conditions
Right.
at home. You can set rules and timers.
Right.
So rules are pretty popular, let's say, frequent travelers.
Right.
Especially in this part of the world where humidity is a real concern,
Right.
mold problems and things like that. So when you go away on holiday or for business,
Right.
you can set a maximum humidity and the air conditioner will kick in as needed to dry it out, but then
Wow.
it'll switch off when it's not needed.
Amazing. Now just changing channel to production, because some of the viewers are thinking about, okay, I'm a startup, I'm doing the Internet of Things, I'm doing prototyping, I'm worried about how I work with a factory. We had this conversation earlier for another medium where you actually talked about, you originally did your prototyping in Hong Kong.
Yes.
You made about 100 or 200 units in Hong Kong.
Well, actually about 100.
About 100 in Hong Kong, not across the border in Shenzhen. And then the next stage you went to, you did a soft tooling with a factory in Shenzhen. So soft tooling is where you're invested in tooling, but it's not going to make you more than 5,000 units. Is that right? So you went with a factory and you knew that, okay, if anything goes wrong and they try and do extra copies, they won't be able to do too many. And still then, you were still thinking about tweaking and making different changes and all of that, right? And then finally you went to a hard tooling. But before you went to the hard tooling, you went back to the community to actually find the best manufacturer with the reputation that you could trust.
Yes.
Have I got it right?
Yep, that's pretty much it.
Wow.
Yeah. So for us, it's because I think we see that as a startup, a lot of startup stories which say, one of the key lessons is don't optimize too early.
Right.
And I think one of the challenges as you're building tooling or as you're building a product is that you always want to, let's tweak it a little bit more, let's invest a little bit more, let's not launch it yet,
Right.
But we kind of forced ourselves to go the opposite route. So the first prototypes didn't have a case. It was just like a bare board, and it was just enough
with the electronics.
With the electronics.
Because you just want to know, can we get it to communicate?
Yeah, can we get it to communicate? Does it work? Does it provide functionality to the user? Those sort of things. So it was very iterative, the process. And that's also why we decided to invest in a soft tool. Now some people would say, why invest in a soft tool? Why don't you just go for a hard tool? But for us, we kind of forced ourselves to say, this is only going to be for a short term. And then we're going to learn the right lessons and go for something that, we'll only scale when we're ready.
Wow, I love it. Amazing story and amazing learning for startups, because there's so many startups struggling with which factory do we work with? How do we know if we've got the right factory? And do we choose a factory for the prototyping, and that's different from the factory we may choose for ramping up? And do we make a distinction? Because not all factories may be good for prototyping with, but they may not be good for ramping up. Especially if they go on Indiegogo and suddenly they've got 20,000 backers and they're worried, how are we going to ship? Because our factory we chose can't do 20,000 units.
So I think for us, we always believe that during the startup journey, your needs are constantly changing. So find the right partners for you right now. If you try and look for something that's right now or a little bit in the future, but if you look too far ahead, that's you're burning a lot of resources to do that, and it may not be the most efficient use. You kind of have to solve your challenges today before you move on to the next one.
Because often you talk to a factory that can do that 20,000 units in 1 or 2 months. They're not going to be interested in doing a prototyping for 100, 200, 500 units. They want to see the orders.
And also, as you tend to, those big factories, they're very good at what they do, but they tend to optimize too much. They're going to try and fine-tune things and really get to a very high level of high quality standard, which is definitely what you want if you're building 20,000 units. But if you're building 300 or 500, it's probably premature to do that.
And that's it's a big challenge for startups, is that their newness works against them in trying to pitch to a factory. Because factories want to work with a client or a buyer that has established distribution channel, because they want to see flow. They want to see they want to see thousands. They want to see volume flow, right? And startups don't have that. And so that's a huge challenge. So amazing story about how you step by step overcome that challenge. And I think this is a good learning point for our viewers here. So Julian, good luck with the Ambi Climate.
Thank you.
I love it. This is,
thank you very much.
I like it. that way it's your remote control for the air conditioning.
Yes.
I like that, and that's how I see it. And maybe you get feedback from buyers and think, oh, you got to change how you market this. But good luck.
Thank you.
And this is O'Connor with Julian Lee of Ambi Ambi Labs.
Ambi Labs. Yes.
Right. We're Ambi Climate too, right?
Yeah.
All right. Catch you in next session. Global Sources Startup. Bye for now.